year's team?
Well, you know, last year we had a lot of talented kids, had a lot of good athletes and exciting kids. This year we got 28 juniors and sophomores, so we're looking at a little bit more basic team. Not going to try to get fancy, just hold on to the ball and not make mistakes. That's our key this year.
So we've got two teams contrast. In other words, Millikan has a lot of veteran players. You've got a lot of rookies.
We got a lot of rookies, and we're excited to watch them play. First night with a lot of young guys, you just don't know what's going to happen. So it's going to be fun tonight to go out there. They got a lot of good players coming back, and we're ready for a good game.
Jeff, you and Tony, there are some similarities. I mean, last year you both barely missed the playoffs. You're both in your 4th year of coaching, but there's some other tight-knit things regarding you two guys.
Yeah, there is. Coach Peralta there, I played football with him at Cerritos College back when I was playing there. And I know him from the coaching aspect of it, and also my daughter is in his wife's kindergarten class. So we've got kind of a close-knit deal and a little rivalry going here.
Well, it's going to be an interesting rivalry. Good luck tonight, and good luck to the youngsters.
Thank you very much. It's going to be fun. Thank you.
Well, Earl, we know that Warren is inexperienced. We've already talked a little bit about Millikan. It's the first night of the high school football season, so excitement abounds.
Yes, it really does. For both of these programs are very, very hopeful. I think that we're going to see probably a defensive struggle here. They run similar defenses, 4-4 defenses, and they run similar offenses in the I formation, but we'll see some variations. I think it'll be a very, very competitive football game tonight.
And ironically, from the night before, it's dropped 10 degrees as we begin the high school football season. It seems like it's already football weather. My name is Willie Padilla. Along with me is Errol Parker. Eddie Van Geis will join us in just a little bit. Stay with us. The CBI Long Beach High School Football Game of the Week is coming up next as the Millikan Rams travel to face the Warren Bears. Welcome to our Long Beach High School Football Game of the Week. The opening kickoff fielded by Josh Jordan of the Rams, and he scoots right up the middle. He's going to break this one all the way. What a way to open the 1996 season as Josh Jordan is gone. Well, if you're Tony Peralta, head coach of the Millikan Rams, that's the way you want to start the 1996 season.
Josh Jordan is the starting tailback on this Power I offense, and they said yesterday when we talked with the coaching staff, and there's Tony Peralta, that this guy is going to do big things for them. And he did exactly that.
Point after attempt coming up for Millikan. What a way to start not only the high school football season for Millikan, but for CBI Sports as well. As Ken Caceres on to try the point after. Holding will be Josh Weller. Kick is up, and the kick is good. 7-0, just 14 seconds into the ball game. And we'll get another opportunity to check out this run by Josh Jordan.
Well, what he actually did, Willie, was he decided that he was not going to go with the blocking, and he faked everyone out. And the blocking was to the left, and he went to the right, and he avoided one tackler, and it was off to the races.
Gabriel Garcia makes the tackle or not. Right there he had his opportunity. Once he missed him, there was really nobody that was even in the vicinity of Jordan.
Well, there's excitement abound on the campus of Millikan High School, because they feel like this year, this is their year to show out. And they did on the very first play, which has really got to get them really pumped. Josh Jordan went about 95 yards for a touchdown on the kickoff. That's exciting.
Well, we were just looking over, and it appeared he picked it up at about the 80, or excuse me, at the 14, so that would be an 86-yard return for a score. I think it caught everyone by surprise a little bit. So an 86-yard touchdown return on the kickoff by Josh Jordan, and it is 7-0 Rams, 14 seconds into 1996. Caceres back on the field to kick off. Back to field for the Bears is 21 Ty-Min Hong. He fields it near the goal line, cuts to his right, and the special teams for the Rams converges immediately as the tackle made for Millikan by number 83 and company. Making the tackle there was Kyle Moore, but Kyle Moore was just the first of many. Let's take a look at the offense. James Steele at quarterback for Warren. He'll be followed out by his backfield. Taimin Hong, who returned that kickoff, Tony Zamora. The receivers, Park, Farina, and Setso, and Fernandez, Medina, Preston, Cruz, Medina, the offensive line for Warren. And this has got to be the exact inverse for the Warren coaching staff, starting out this season giving up a kickoff return for a touchdown and then turning around and having to start your first offensive series inside your own 10-yard line. The ball is at roughly the 6-yard line. They're discussing who will be penalized. Jack Huntsinger, our referee, has it as movement by Warren. That'll be half the distance to the goal, back to the 3.
Well, Coach Welsh said,
as we take a look at the defense, Weller, Durr, and Haas, the secondary, Gardner, Smith, Scott, and Shaver, the linebackers. They've got a lot of duty in this defense. We'll talk about that in a moment. Odom, Saney, Alfar, and Slater, the defensive line. And a lot of responsibility for this linebacking core for Millikan. It is first down and 13 for Warren. They line up inside their own 5-yard line. Steele gives it off to the fullback. I believe that was Hong who got the football. First carry does not work for much. So it was indeed Hong who carried the football, 21.
Taimin Hong is an outstanding student. Well, he had a 4.67 grade point average, means that he's taken honors classes, and that's how he gets extra points. And he's an outstanding student and a very disciplined runner, according to the coaching staff.
That's raising the roof a little bit on that GPA.
Certainly is.
Pickup of 2 on the play, however, it's second down and 11 for the Bears. They have an opportunity to let their defense do some talking here as the give goes to the tailback, Zamora. Zamora gets across the original line of scrimmage, picks up maybe 3. It'll bring up third down and long for the Bears. Tough situation here. You got to wonder, are the Bears thinking of throwing the football so deep in their own territory on their first drive?
Well, this is the type of situation that Coach Welch did not want to get his Bears in third and long with an inexperienced team. And you know the linebackers are coming for the Rams.
As I was mentioning at the outset, this is a very tough situation for Warren to begin their season on. Inexperienced team, pressed with their backs to their own end line, and now they've got it third down and 8. Already down 7-zip. Steele back to pass, goes quickly over the middle. Pass is tipped, flags come flying from everywhere, as they'll say interference or holding against the Millikan Rams. That call would go against Safin of the Rams if it is. Indeed it is interference.
Well, they didn't send their linebackers that time. The outside linebackers got in the flat, and it was a little look-in pattern, but it was interference.
The pass was intended for John Park. We're going to see is the contact early, and I believe what he had was the left hand wrapped around the receivers, and thus you've got the interference. I believe I said safe, and it was probably number 35, Randy Scott, not 55. As the give goes to Hong, Hong picks up a yard maybe as he gets out to the 25-yard line. In on the tackle, 44, Sean Smith. Second down and about 8.5 for the Bears. So a big opportunity for the Millikan defense to make a statement. However, instead they commit the interference penalty and allow the Bears a first down. Second down, better than 8. Steele barking out the signals, running the option. He'll keep it himself, run to the inside. Tackle made after a pickup of 7. Tackle made by number 17, Leyland Haas. He stopped shy of the first down, bringing up third down and a couple.
Now, Steele can run a little bit. He ran a little bit of option that time, and they mixed up the offense, maybe confused the Ram defense on that play. Steele can run the football. He's very mobile and versatile.
We'll call it a long yard left for a first down for the Bears. They've got it at about the 33.5, need to get to the 34. Time for the Bears to run some power football, and they've got 3 men in the backfield along with their quarterback, Steele. Steele gives it to the third back through. Actually, as Zamora gets it, and Zamora gets enough for the first down.
Well, it was beef against beef. There are two big defensive linemen on both sides of the football tonight. They both average about 260 pounds each.
First down for the Warren Bears, and this is turning into a nice drive and quite a confidence builder for Warren. Remember, they began this drive at about their own 6-yard line, were penalized on their very first play, half the distance to the goal, so they were back on their 3, and now they find themselves at about the 35-yard line. So it has been a pretty good drive thus far for the Bears. Steele back to throw, throws, and tackle made immediately as the catch was made by Hong, who I think wanted to turn the play back. Instead, he found out that Sean Smith wanted to go for a little bit of a ride as he hopped on his back and made the tackle immediately. In fact, it's marked as no gain.
Last year in the 20-6 win by Warren, the first play from scrimmage was a long pass for a touchdown, if we recall, and so the Rams returned the favor this year.
Thus far, it has been a very good start for Millikan. Although their defense has given up a little bit of yardage to Warren, they do lead at 7-0 thanks to the opening kickoff return by Josh Jordan. Steele back to pass, setting up the screen. Pass complete to Zamora, who cuts back, slips one tackle, can't slip the second as he's dropped after a pickup of 6. That'll bring up 3rd down and 4 for the Bears. Tackle made by number 17, Leyland Haas, and he is shaken up.
That was a nicely developed screen. You see the lineman shift over to the left, and they hit Zamora, and Zamora slipped one tackle, and he protects the ball. It's a nicely developed play.
Matt Shaver, the Ram who had the opportunity to make the tackle. There's Leyland Haas holding on to Zamora, and he is still in about that same position as he's shaken up. In fact, I mentioned Matt Shaver having a chance to make a tackle. There's Dave Shaver, who was a former head coach for this Millikan Ram football team, acts as the trainer as well. Now for Millikan. I want to talk about a gregarious guy. That is Dave Shaver. As a reference to our director, Rob Meckhamson, the answer would be negative to the previous question. As we look at the clock, it's 6:55 left in the first quarter.
I want to know what he asked you, though.
Well, it was a little something that between play-by-play and director that takes place.
Secrets.
3rd down and 3.5. Well, after 9 years, you develop those kind of things. 3rd down and about 3.5 for the Bears as Steele apparently gets a couple of Rams to come off sides. It's interesting. They're both pointing at each other, but I think the Bears did a much better job of pointing at the Rams initially, and it is indeed called encroachment. And that is the second first down of this drive that the Rams have given to the Bears on a penalty.
Well, he just barked out the signals and made them jump. Obviously, the Rams jumped, and I didn't see any offensive line.
If we continue to roll, though, you'll see the Bears come up and start pointing immediately, and it's not until after a while that the Rams even start pointing. It took them a couple seconds. Usually, you know immediately whose fault that is. So it's 1st down and 10 for the Bears. 6:23 left. First quarter, 7-0 in favor of the Rams. However, the Bears marching along. They've got it at the 47. The give to Zamora, who spins his way to midfield. This drive has now consumed 44 yards and better than 5 minutes on the clock.
And one of the things they're establishing is here, despite the big defensive line that the Rams have, the offense of the Bears, that we want to establish the run, and that's what they have been doing right between the guards.
And we've seen a myriad of plays. We've seen screen passes, passes over the middle, pass out to the flat to their running back, 3 men in the backfield, 2 men in the backfield. Here they've got a single setback. So the Bears have broken out the playbook for their opening series, and a flag comes down. And apparently a flag thrown while lining up, and that is procedure against the Bears. Usually they'll get a little bit of leeway on the opening series of the season until they become accustomed to things, especially at the varsity level. But Jack Huntsinger, the referee, a veteran of 37 years of officiating, he's seen that all too often, and he's going to nip that thing in the bud right now.
Well, they want to establish some discipline here.
Second down and 13. That puts the Bears in a tough situation. Steele back to Zamora. Zamora running the sweep, gets a block, gets the first down and more. How about Anthony Zamora? Big pickup on the run as he's into Ram territory.
I think what made this play was big number 79, Juan Cruz. Look at him pull out there, and he comes up and gets a good block to spring Zamora.
Indeed, that was the block there on Schauber. And it wasn't until he got into the secondary before the tackle was made, a pickup of 20. And it is first down and 10, making a pickup of 18.
This is definitely a confidence builder for the Bears.
Indeed, the drive began at their own 6. A penalty moved them back to the 3, so they have gone virtually the length of the field to get to this point. Hong gets the football and can't get around Schauber. So Matt Schauber got a hold of some jersey and made the tackle.
He's very important to their defense. He's a 6'1", 195-pound junior. He started as a sophomore on this Ram football team, and he's a big hitter.
Second down and 6. Bears have it inside the 35. They need to get to the 27. The give goes to Hong again from the fullback spot. He picks up maybe 3 to about the 30. Tackle made by number 35. That would be Randy Scott. And the football marked at the 31. So it's third down and 3.
Randy Scott was the Frosh sophomore MVP last year. He's a strong side strong side outside linebacker.
Lineup changes as Zamora in, as is receiver Frankie Farina. 2 receivers split out to either side, along with Farina. As Steele drops back, he goes, who did he go to? He had 2 men to choose from. 2 men in the same area. One receiver, 81, Jeremiah Tuao, was in the area, as was a second receiver, and either one could have been the target. Watch here.
Just a little crossing pattern, and I don't know, they weren't on the same page. I guess the linebacker got in the way there.
Well, if indeed it was Tuao, he wasn't even looking at the quarterback. And so it was probably the second receiver. A timeout on the field, 3:25 left in the first quarter. We'll be back with more. Rams lead it 7-0. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week. 4th down and 4, and the Bears are going to go for it. They're too far away for a field goal attempt, which would line up to about a 48-yarder, and too close to punt. They're at the 31. If they punt it out of the back of the end zone, it would, in essence, be only an 11-yard punt because the football would go back to the 20. Nice moves, but falling short of Steele as the nice tackle made by Matt Schauber just shy of the first down. Big play by Matt Schauber as he stops Steele just short of a first down. As Millikan comes on the field, they lead at 7-0, but this is the first time we'll see their offense as quarterback Dan Baudry will lead things. DeAndre Grant, Josh Weller in the backfield. The receivers, Weller, Garcia, and Moore. The line, Hernandez, Murphy, Tomlin, Masterakis, and Paramke, that is. As the give goes to number 27. And was the football loose? The give went to Josh Jordan, who ran the opening kickoff for a touchdown. The way the Bears came up after that tackle, you would have thought that a fumble had been committed. I guess they're just a little frisky, having to wait about 9 minutes to get on the field for their first defensive series. And that defense has Harlan, Jackson, and Churchill at linebackers. Park, Taisaki, Beltman, and Gomez at linemen. As the give goes to Jordan again, and he is just shackled at the line of scrimmage for a loss.
Well, with the defensive line for the Bears is doing is that they're slipping the gaps, and that's what they said they were going to do when I talked to the coaching staff. Even though the offensive line is a big offensive line for the Rams, the Bears are shooting the gap, and they're catching Jordan behind the line of scrimmage.
Now, for Millikan, their offense needs to do something here, because if they put their defense right back on the field, they've already spent the first 9 minutes after the kickoff return out on the field against this Warren offense. They like to get a first down and give those guys a break. As the pass complete and the nice run after the catch by Kyle Moore gets very close to a first down. It'll depend on the spot, as it is right on the 40. They needed to get to the 39.5, so that looks like a first down.
Nice little hitch pattern to Kyle Moore. Now, he's very dangerous, Willie, after he catches the football. There was a nice block by his mate over there on the twin receivers on the left side or the right side of the field.
Indeed, it is a first down after the run by, as I mentioned, Kyle Moore. And indeed, that was an individual effort, and that saves the Millikan defense, because they just spent quite a bit of time on the field trying to stop the Warren offense. And after the successful fourth down play, you really would have hated to see the Millikan defense back out there quickly. Give goes right up the middle to DeAndre Grant. And a loose football saved the Bears, but I don't see anything being claimed by the officials. They're going to say second down. Well, all the exuberance in the world isn't going to get you a call like a fumble unless it's been dropped. A pickup of 1 for Grant, second down and 9.
DeAndre Grant, a transfer from Jordan High School, and he's playing for the Rams this year at the up back.
Grant goes down, and it was at the tail end, and you could see that the football was brought loose after Grant had been stamped to the ground. Second down and 9. The toss, and it's a bad toss, intercepted by Warren. Nice move at the 30 with a convoy. He's finally tackled inside the 20. Interception. There's no number for 24. I'm thinking that's Dontel Jenkins. A big play on the turnover. Beaudry's pass was terrible.
Yeah, it was a terrible pass right in the arms of the cornerback.
It was intended for Josh Weller. Weller couldn't even get a finger on that pass. It was so far out of reach. Finally, it's Grant who makes the tackle. It is now first down and 10 from inside the 20 for the Bears. 56 seconds left in the first quarter. The give goes to Hong. Hong goes left side, gets raced down from behind as the tackle finally made by Sean Smith. But Smith had to run a long way to make that tackle, and not after a pickup of 8.
As I said earlier, the defense of the Rams is predicated on the linebackers making the tackle. That time the defensive end shut it down from the outside, but there was no one inside, and as a result, there was a big gain.
Well, the Bears offense has had a lot of experience moving the football on this Warren defense, although they have yet anything on the board against this Millikan defense. And 16 seconds show on the clock, and a flag comes down. That should be delay of game, or is it?
No, it's probably encroachment on the part of the defense.
It is encroachment indeed, and that'll be a first down for Warren. The third first down. Indeed, there is the encroachment right there. Well, that is the third first down that the Bears have garnered by virtue of a penalty that has been committed by Millikan. And that is one area that you can bet Coach Peralta is going to have to take a look at, as it is first down and goal. Football just about at the 5, clock ticking, and time has run out. They get the play off apparently, and Hong will get into the end zone. Hong scores. Make that a 7-yard touchdown run for Hong. And it is 7-6 in favor of Millikan, as the point after attempt coming up by the Bears. And that score comes with no time on the clock. Point after attempt. Well, they only have one kicker on their roster, and it's not the same number as the player who's attempting it, but the kick is up and good. Anthony Bozak is the only player listed as a kicker. And we'll assume he is tied it up 7-7 between Millikan and Warren. Time has run out in the first quarter. We'll take a break, all tied up. And before we take a break, we'll go down and get a report from Eddie Van Geis down on the field.
Willie and Errol, before the game started, Coach Welch talked about his youngsters. He stressed rookies. Well, the Baby Bears, I'll tell you, what they lack in size, they make up for in speed and quickness. And even before the turnover and that touchdown, they were excited on the sidelines because they ate up the first 9 minutes of the game. And if they've got the ball for 9 minutes of the 12 in the first quarter, Millikan obviously isn't going to be able to score. So right now it looks like maybe the Baby Bears were playing possum before the game. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much, Eddie. Not only is it the change of quarters, but also after the points have been scored, we'll begin the second quarter and change sides. And so Millikan will actually be running the football at the opposite goalpost than which we began the game. And this is the touchdown scored by Hong for the Bears.
Always watch the blocking up front. The pulling guard, number 72, makes a really good block, and the rest was pretty easy.
Time in Hong gets the Bears on the board. 7-7 the score. And it was an interesting point Eddie Van Geis brought up. Nearly 10 minutes of that first quarter gobbled up by the Warren offense. Millikan had the ball, got one first down, turned it over. Their only score came on the kickoff return, and another big return for the Rams. Here they go again. With the football is Kyle Moore. Kyle Moore's going to go the distance. Touchdown, Millikan. Unbelievable. Last time Josh Jordan went 86 yards. Now Kyle Moore goes the distance, not to be outdone.
Now, you see the explosiveness of the Millikan Rams. They've scored twice on special teams. This time one of their wide receivers runs must be about 60 yards or 70 yards for a touchdown, and of course they scored at the first time they got their hand on the football. So twice they scored on special teams.
An 80-yard touchdown return for Kyle Moore. How about that? Well, you keep that up, your defense is going to be awfully tired. Your offense isn't going to get any time on the field, and you're going to have an interesting matchup, and that's going to change things as the kick goes right into the Warren defensive line. So the point after attempt by Caceres, no good. It's 13-7 in favor of the Rams. We'll take a break. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week. I'm Willie Padilla, along with me, Errol Parker and Eddie Van Geis down on the field. It is 13-7 in favor of the Millikan Rams by virtue of two kickoff returns for touchdowns. One by Josh Jordan, the other by Kyle Moore, so both guys have contributed. If I'm Warren, next time I have to kick off, I'm kicking it out of bounds.
It'll probably be a very good idea, especially when you're kicking to a guy who has 4.7 speed in the 40-yard dash.
Hong gets that kickoff at the 15. He cuts back, but he's not going anywhere near the distance of the Ram returners, and he's got the football just shy of the 30-yard line.
What all Millikan has done is score 2 touchdowns on special teams. Actually, their offense have struggled, and their defense have not been able to really stop the Bears. And so they have to be concerned about what they're doing from an offensive and defensive standpoint.
Well, it's hard to say that they've struggled when they've only had 4 plays. Granted, that 4th play was a bad one, the interception, but they did get a first down. And a personal foul called after the ball was dead against the Rams. That'll move it forward 15 yards. And penalties have been a bane for the Rams. That's at least the 4th penalty. 3 have resulted in first downs. I guess in a sense, this is even worse. It's 15 yards and moves it to the 45. So just shy of midfield are the Bears to open this drive. This is their 3rd possession with the football. They came up and were stopped on 4th down on their first series, scored a touchdown on their 2nd series, and they get 1 yard on their first play of their 3rd series.
Abroad Sani made that tackle, a very strong defensive lineman for the Rams.
Second down, 9 from the 46. Their quarterback's been doing a good job. James Steele. Steele, who's a sophomore, has a football, pitches back to Zamora, and Zamora's in trouble. Down he goes. Big play turned in by Scott as he makes the tackle in the backfield, a loss of 7. I'll make it a loss of 6, rather.
The Rams had that play smelled out completely. Pretty good pursuit by the lineman. It was really a pitch, but he was too far back in the line of scrimmage, and the Rams really smelled that one out really well.
Randy Scott, the play made, and it is now 3rd down and 14. Clock shows 10:14 left in the second quarter. 13-7 in favor of Millikan. 3rd and long for the Bears. 2 men in the backfield as Steele drops back, straight drop back. 2 receivers in the pattern. Pass over the middle, complete, but shy of the first down. As on the play immediately defensively was Alfred Durr. The pass was complete, however. Making the grab for the Bears was Henry Zato, but it's still 3rd down and 4.
He had plenty of time to throw that football. It was a nicely executed play, but what you try to tell the receiver is get over the first down marker, and he did not do that.
So it's a punting situation for the Bears. 3rd and a long 3, 4th and a long 3 rather. And the kick actually goes into the back of Hong and then is kicked out of bounds. That's the second kick. Isn't that a penalty? I do believe that's a penalty against the Bears. You cannot kick it twice. As the punt hit the back of Hong, who was the blocker. And then a flag went down. I don't know if that's a personal foul against the Rams or an illegal kick, because you cannot kick it a second time. It is an illegal kick against the Bears. Watch this. As one of the Rams comes in, he blocks Hong right into his punter. Now watch Steele. He kicks it and then gets tackled right on his Achilles tendon by number 17, Leyland Haas. That is their quarterback, who is also their punter. Watch the tackle. It's not a dirty tackle by any means. First, you're going to see the oncoming rush. The snap was good. That's just an unblocked Ram. And it hits Hong right on his backside. But here's where the injury takes place. The player who was in a hurry was Josh Weller, but he kicks it out of bounds. Haas makes the tackle right after the kick, and it would be right on the Achilles tendon. And anyone who's ever seen a ruptured Achilles tendon knows how terrible an injury that is and how much that can hurt. And apparently that is the area where he was tackled, although I'm not sure that would be the injury
Coach
suffered
Welsh
by James Steele. And we'll take a break as they work on James Steele down at the 35. 13-7 Rams. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week. 1st down and 10 for Millikan as they take over after the block punt. Give credit to Josh Weller for the block punt, who actually blocked Taimin Hong into his own punter. The option, the pitch goes back out on the fingertips of Josh Jordan, and he gets upended. The tackle made by Jenkins, who also has the interception from that first quarter. That pitch, very last second by Daniel Baudry. It is 2nd down and 15 after the loss of 5. Warming up on the sideline for the Bears is Frankie Farina. As you're going to watch a player get upended, you want to lose your footing, that's the way you do it. But Farina warming up as James Steele being tended to on the sideline. I'm not sure he's going to make it back in immediately, if at all. The pass, it's high, taken by Moore, but Moore's wrapped up immediately by Hong. And I'm not sure he picked up any yardage. That pass just had too much lift to it. Baudry's pass looked like it had helium.
Well, he's an inexperienced quarterback right now. This is his first varsity game. Josh Weller was a quarterback last year. Baudry is going to call the signals this year. He's thrown one errant pass for a touchdown. and that was kind of an errant pass too, but it was a nice catch.
Actually, it eventually led to a touchdown. It was returned to about the 12-yard line by the Bears. It is 3rd down and 16. It was a loss of 1. So that's, I believe, 0 for 2 for Baudry, along with an interception. Not a good start. Going downfield, has a man, and it's complete as Moore comes back for it. Makes the grab, but it'll be shy of a 1st down. So the pass is caught. The Bears arguing every play, saying this one wasn't even a catch, but I think that was pretty much a sure thing. So it'll be 4th down and I don't know, probably about 3 or 4. It looks like it'll be a field goal situation. Timeout is called by Millikan with 7:30 left. We've got a report down the field by Eddie Van Geis. Eddie.
Willie and Errol, I just had a word with the trainer for Warren, Vince Potts. He says that there's an ankle sprain is the problem right now. Someone rolled on James Steele's ankle when he went after that loose ball. I asked him if he was going to return in a game. They're going to ice him up. They're going to tape it up. And they said, yeah, they want to get him back in the game. But right now, that's not a definite. Back to you guys.
Well, that would be a tad bit of an interesting strategy, icing it up, because that would just make him rather stiff. As we've got a timeout on the field. 4th down, we'll take a break. Fourth down for the Rams. They need to get to just about the 10-yard line. They're at the 14. Grant gets the football, but he's going to be short.
Well, the Rams go to their power game, and they come up short that time. And they're a power football team. They have some beef up front, and they decided that they were going to go for the run this time, and they didn't get it.
Frankie Farina brings the Bears out for this offensive series. James Steele, the sophomore, had been doing quite a good job considering his youth and inexperience. He had driven the team downfield.
Actually, number 6 is Adrian Mercurio.
Mercurio is in at quarterback. Farina also in the lineup. He's at receiver. Saw him warming up. Mercurio will quarterback, however. He gives the ball off to Hong. Hong, nice run on 1st down. So Adrian Mercurio, a junior, just getting a little bit older, as he will take over quarterback. Steele, I mentioned earlier, they're going to ice his ankle, which may stiffen it, but of course the key is to keep the swelling down. Once they get that swelling down, or at least to subside, then they'll be able to make a decision as to whether or not he'll be capable of returning, considering the stiffness and the soreness of that ankle. Better an ankle sprain than an injury to the Achilles tendon, all things considered. 2nd down and 4. The give goes up the middle. Mercurio gave it off to, I believe it was Hong. And a pickup of maybe 1.5 yards. It was Hong.
I think it's time to give some credit to the offensive line of the Bears. They are an all-senior group. Willie Medina and Robert Preston are seniors at guard. Tackle is Juan Cruz and Jesse Medina. They're not related, Willie and Jesse. Jesse's 5'11", 275, and Willie Medina is 6'1", 245. So they average about 250 pounds and average about 6'1" in height up there on the offensive line.
And you could say that this year's problem is the inverse of last year, where they had experienced skill guys and a young offensive line. Now the offensive line is experienced, but it's the skill guys like a sophomore quarterback that are inexperienced. The 3rd down run appears to have picked up the 1st down. Well, apparently having that experienced offensive line means something, because that was entirely behind that offensive line that the Bears were able to get a 1st down.
I think your point is well taken, because quarterback Max Sorensen last year was a 2-year quarterback, and he was a great quarterback, and he was a very skilled quarterback. Now you have to go with the inexperience because of graduation.
1st down and 10. In this ball game, the Bears have been chewing up the clock offensively, yet they trail by 6, 13-7. As the give goes to Hong, Hong gets wrapped up after a pickup of 3. The Rams have had the football offensively 4 times. 2 have been returned for touchdowns on the kickoffs, so the offense actually did not touch the football. One series ended after 4 plays on an interception. And then the next series ended after, I believe, also 4 plays where they were not able to get a first down. So they've had the ball for basically only 8 offensive plays in almost an entire half.
Yet they're up 13-7. I think they like those odds. They're scoring on special teams, which they have put them really up front in this football game.
Well, sure, anytime you can lead by 6 after a half and you haven't gotten your offense started, that's not bad. Now, this is going to be pointing the fingers at each other. Rams pointing at Bears and vice versa. Rams seem to think that the Bears moved first. This is always a tough call. Let's see if there was any movement by the Bears. I didn't see it. So, and apparently neither did the officiating crew. So this 2nd down and 8 turns into a 2nd down and 3, maybe even just a couple, as the football is placed just shy of the yard marker.
Tackle Michael Odom is a culprit for the 2nd time. He thought he saw some movement in that offensive line, but he was wrong.
Ball with the 34, need to get to the 36, do the Bears for a first down. 2nd down and a couple. Pitch goes back to Zamora. Zamora gets wrapped up in the backfield, then struggles to get near the 35. Shaver in on the tackle with some help.
With Sean Smith. Now, Shaver is doing a real good job today. And he's been coming in at his linebacking position and making some really nice tackles, and he had help from Sean Smith at that on that particular play.
So it'll be 2nd down or 3rd down in a short distance or a first down. They're going to make the measurement. And I'll tell you what, Zamora got a rather fortuitous marking because it didn't appear that he got even close to the 35, maybe a yard short. And the football's placed not only on the 35, but beyond it. But I think he's still short. No, he got it. He's got the first down.
Again, Robert Preston was number 72, the pulling guard, is doing a fine job just taking up space. Got some quick feet, and he's pretty fast for a big guy.
While the penalty did not give the Bears the first down, it did contribute greatly when you give 5 yards of a 10-yard necessary situation. So again, a penalty by the Rams comes back to hurt them. The give goes to Hong on a cutback. He gets submarined by Weller and picks up a first down at the 48.
I think this offensive line for the Bears are clicking, and they're really getting off the ball much quicker than the Rams. And look, the inside linebacker goes in. Shaver makes a nice interference, but the safety has to come up.
Eric Slater got good penetration, but realized too late that he got duped into the backfield of the Bears. And by the time he realized that corner was wide open, and Hong took advantage for the first down. Football at the Bear 48-yard line. Mercurio, the quarterback. Tackle made by Shaver as carrying the football. A new player into the lineup for the Bears. Haven't seen him till just now. In fact, without a number, probably haven't seen much of him. That may have been Fernandez, who's listed as number 36, not 35. Or rather, 35 and 36. That instead would be Brett Benda. So Benda carry the football, picked up a yard. 2nd down and 9. Mercurio back to pass for his first pass and throws it well behind the intended receiver, who was trying to get it to John Park, their 6'2", 210-pound tight end, but that pass well behind him, nothing he could do.
John Park was an all-league performer last year. He's just a junior. He's another excellent student. He's a 4.6 guy. I've never seen so many over 4.0 guys in my life, but they're honor students and they pick up these extra points. These are some very smart players as well as strong. I didn't even know what a 4.0 was until I got in college and afterwards.
You met some people that had it, right?
Yes, they had to introduce me to those guys.
2:44 left, 2nd quarter. 3rd down and 9 for the Bears. Let's see if the Rams can force the issue. Straight drop back. Looks like they're setting up a screen. Indeed they are. But the pass is so bad that one of the linemen, or one of the secondary coming up for the Rams, makes the interception. And that was Leyland Haas.
It looked like it was going to be a screen, but it was an errant pass.
It very nearly hit one of the offensive linemen. It was so errant.
Yeah, he overthrew that one. And then the offensive line guys were waiting to block, and here comes the ball over their head. They say, hey, what's going on?
They were there to block. Instead, they made the tackle. And the Rams get it at their 47 with 2:37 left. Let's see if the offense can start to click. Badri, still the quarterback. Jordan cuts back, slips a tackle, and then tackles himself. He would have been gone for a long time if he doesn't make his own tackle. He slipped and fell on the turf. Of course, in high school football, you're down once your knee is down or part of your upper body.
Now, this was some good blocking up front. He slips a tackle actually 1 yard behind, and then he slips on his own feet.
Pass complete by Badri as he completes it downfield. He connects with Mark Wells, and that's a first down for the Rams. Their second first down of this first half. Their first since their second series, and their first for their second first down for the Rams that we've seen since the offense has been on the field. Grant gets the football and picks up a couple yards. It was confusing there because of the 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
Oh, no, it wasn't as clear as mud. I understood what you were saying.
1:50 and counting here in the second quarter, heading towards halftime. Second down and 9. The Rams, who immediately came out in a hurry-up offense, go back into the huddle. They're running out of time. If they need to get this play off, they do get it off. Badri connects, pass complete as it's a crossing pattern. Good move to the outside. Racing towards the end zone is Jackie Lee. He's in, touchdown. Jackie Lee turned that from a short gainer into a touchdown as he goes 38 yards for the score.
You see the athleticism of the Millikan Rams. I think they're for real. They've been really excited about their football team. I haven't seen them look this good in a long time.
The offense is now on the board, and the special teams have done it twice. But now the offense beginning to click. And they're going to go for 2 smart moves since they missed the 1 conversion. In motion goes Jordan. Badri rolling to his right, has a man open in the back of the end zone, didn't have an opportunity to get it to him, but Badri instead slithers his way into the end zone for 2.
But when we talked with the coaching staff about Boudry, we found out that he was a really versatile football player, and he showed his versatility there. It looked like he was going to throw the football, but he saw a seam, and he ran through it for the 2-point conversion. And now it's 21-7, and the Rams have scored twice from their special teams, and then now from their offensive scrimmage.
And take a look at the offense, scoring from 38 yards out. It looked like it was supposed to go right to the right side, but then
nice
Jackie
block.
Lee cuts it left side and sees a wide open field. Another big block there.
By number 73.
Indeed it was. That was Zuniga, Daniel Zuniga. What a block.
Jason Murphy administered the initial block, so it was good blocking and nice running and a nice throw. And it all clicked for their 21st point.
This has been quite an opener for the Millikan Rams, and I think this is the day that Tony Peralta has been waiting for during his first 3 seasons. And beginning this 4th season, I think he's starting to see the fruits of all the time he spent starting to come around.
I got strong indication of that, Willie, when I visited the campus a couple of times this week, that these guys were ready to play. They feel like this is their year, and they feel like they can not only get a playoff spot, some guys even talked about a Moore League championship.
A squib kick, fielded at the 15. Good return for the Bears as Aaron Herrera brings it back beyond the 40 with 1:12 left in the first half.
We've seen some exciting football here in the first half, especially from special teams.
This is different than any other Millikan game we've seen in a while. And it has been a while since we've seen the Rams playing with this kind of expertise, and they're doing it quite well. They've Their offense is starting to come around. It's 21-7. They lead it. Their special teams outstanding thus far. What else can you say? We'll take a break. 1 minute left. We'll be back with more in a moment. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week as Ken Caceres tees it up for Millikan. Let's get a report from Eddie Van Geis.
We tried to get a word with Coach Welch of Warren before halftime. He looked at the scoreboard, he looked at me disgusted and said, no way. So we weren't going to have any comments. Well, you know what? During that 9-minute stretch in the first quarter, things were looking good for the young Bears. But after that, what can you say? The specialty teams broke down. Millikan scored twice, then a touchdown pass. We've also got a word that their quarterback, Steele, has been taken to the hospital for x-rays. He will not return. And another important player, you can't believe, number 21, Tae-Min Hong, when he was down with an ankle injury, there were coaches there saying, Tay, get up. We need you. Obviously, number 21 is a very important player of the Warren Bears. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thank you very much for that report, Eddie, as Aaron Herrera takes the kickoff and returns it about 35 yards, gets it near midfield, shy by a few yards. He's at the 41 is where he's marked down, and that's where the Bears will begin the second half. And they will be quarterbacked by Adrian Mercurio as, according to Eddie Van Geis, James Steele has been taken to a hospital for precautionary x-rays. Hopefully things will work out for the young sophomore. And now it's a junior at the helm as Mercurio barking out the signals. And the Bears really seem to change their offensive game plan under Mercurio as Hong picks up 9 on the carry.
Well, Mercurio is really a drop-back quarterback. He doesn't do much else. He doesn't run the football very much, they say. And he is not the same type of quarterback. So we're going to see a different type of offensive play calling with him in there.
Well, you would imagine with a young team, they've probably spent a bulk of their time with the youngster Steele. And Mercurio has probably gotten some time quarterbacking the first team, but not nearly as much time as Steele has running the first team. So it's got to take a little bit of getting used to for Mercurio and this first team offense. As the give goes to Herrera, he gets a first down as he is brought down at the 45-yard line of Millikan. And on the first 2 plays offensively, the Bears come out smoking.
And they have a really fine, experienced offensive line, and that's one of the redeeming qualities of this team from an offensive standpoint. And they really have been taking it to the defensive line of the Rams, which are bigger, but not as quick.
Indeed, at the outset of the ball game and the first couple of plays here in the second half, the Bears are relying on that veteran offensive line. The give goes to Zamora. Zamora, however, brought down immediately as making the tackle, number 35, Randy Scott.
Now that was a good effort. He warded off the block and made the tackle. That's something you want your linemen to do.
Scott on that play immediately, and he brings down Zamora for no gain. That'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Hey guys.
And what I meant by the Bears changing their offensive strategy, they had gone to a varied attack under Steele. They had brought out all the plays that I'd mentioned earlier, a screen pass, pass out in the flat, pass over the middle, running plays of different varieties. But under Mercurio, they've gone to the very basics, probably because he's as inexperienced as he is with this first-team offense. Herrera gets the football, breaks the tackle, gets the first down as he gets inside the 30-yard line of Millikan, and that was all second effort after breaking the tackle.
And some nice blocks by Preston and number 78. I can't get his name, but
that's Jesse Medina.
Medina and Preston pulled that time and made some really good blocks. After that was a good individual effort. You see, there's Preston and Medina right there.
Let's go, come on.
Now there momentarily it appeared that Sean Smith had Herrera, but all he had was a fistful of jersey. Herrera gets the call again, and quite possibly the Bears went to the well one too many times as the tackle made just after the line of scrimmage by Ferris Alford.
A little trap play. They tried to spring him on that play. So they're really mixing it up. When you have a veteran offensive line, Willie, you can do all those kind of things because they've done it all last season. The question is getting that running back into the secondary so he can start dancing for touchdown.
2nd down and 8. It was 2nd down and 10 until that 20-yard pickup by Herrera. The pitch goes back to Zamora. He's got a blocker. gets wrapped up after a pickup of 5 or 6. That was Medina again leading the blocking, but this time he couldn't ward off the entire Rams secondary, which was in on the tackle.
Also Juan Cruz opening up holes right there. You get those big linemen going about 10, 15 yards. They're getting a lot of workout thus far.
Third down and short. It's just a couple yards. The football right on the 20, and the Bears need to get to the 18. 8:27 left, third quarter. The Bears chewed up the clock with their offense in the first half, but had very little to show for it. Only a touchdown run that was scored after a turnover. Zamora gets it, breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, and surges forward for the first down.
They had a full house backfield that time. Wishbone going right up the middle at the tackles. It's smash mouth football right now. They have not thrown the football on this drive.
They have not thrown it since Mercurio was intercepted on a very poor pass on a screen play, where he overthrew not only his intended receiver, but the offensive line in front of him. And the pass was intercepted. The scoring in this game, Josh Jordan opened it up on the opening kickoff, returning at 86 yards for the score. Taimin Hong scored on a 7-yard touchdown run for the Bears after that interception we spoke about earlier from Beaudry. And he scored from 7 yards out. That tied it at 7. Kyle Moore returned a kickoff 80 yards for a touchdown. And Beaudry to Jackie Lee for a score as Herrera gets the handoff and is finally tackled by Shaver, again proving to be very elusive once he's got his hands on the football.
Yeah, they're looking good here, keeping the ball strictly on the ground. Of course, you have an inexperienced junior quarterback. You don't want to put him in a position where he has to throw the football, but that offensive line has been taking care of business.
As I was mentioning, Jackie Lee scoring on the 38-yard touchdown reception from Beaudry. A 2-point conversion run by Beaudry made it 21-7. That's where we're at here in the third quarter with 7:15 left. The Bears have the football. They've taken the opening kickoff, and after a nice return by Herrera, they now have it inside the 20 of the Rams. Some confusion in the backfield, and it goes nowhere. The football marked for a loss of yardage, or they'll say it's just about at the same mark, just outside the 10.
There's number 98, Big Michael Odom, an upward bound student at California State University, Long Beach, second-year starter. He's supposed to be plugging up the holes, just like hair in the sink. He's trying to plug up the holes, Willie.
And I'm surprised you know that, considering you haven't had that problem in the last couple decades. As Mercurio rolling to his left has a man, Herrera. Herrera makes the grab, but then gets tackled, hogtied in a sense by Shaver, but he does get the first down. Shaver very fortunate to bring down Herrera, who has that low center of gravity, and he brings him down up by the shoulder pads and helmet.
Well, Shaver has been all over the field today. He must have at least about 8 or 9 tackles, and he's gone from sideline to sideline, making some very fine athletic tackles.
And a penalty against the Bears, face mask.
Against the Rams, right?
Excuse me, against the Rams, Millikan. Fortunately for them, it'll only go half the distance to the goal. You know, you can give up a 15-yarder there when you're making the tackle at the 6.
Yeah, why not? You can't. They can't give you a touchdown. They just half the distance to the goal line.
So it's first down and goal for the Bears, and that's the first pass we've seen from this Bear offense on this drive. Not too much passing in this entire game for either ball club. Football appeared to be loose momentarily, but holding on and then getting tackled and maybe even a loss was Zamora. It appeared that he was bobbling the football.
Eric Slater made that tackle that time. Coming in, fighting off blocks. Slater at his defensive end position.
A loss of a yard on the play. Football marked at roughly the 5-yard line. It might have been nice had they rechalked the field for this season opener here at Warren High School.
And give us some numbers on the field so we can know what's going on.
Of course, that is not a priority when you've got a bunch of youngsters setting up for their first game. Timeout is called on second and goal for the Bears. We'll take a break. 5:18 left in the third quarter. 21-7, Millikan. Hi, folks. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week. 21-7 in favor of the Millikan Rams, but the Warren Bears are threatening. Second down and goal. Mercurio throws it behind Herrera, who then pays the price as Weller levels him. That'll bring up third and goal. Not a good pass from Mercurio. And now it's third down and goal from about the 5 for the Bears, and they need a score here. Otherwise, this will be the second time in this ball game that they will have wasted a valiant effort by their offense, moving down virtually the length of the field and get nothing to show for it. Remember that opening drive by the Bears? They began at their own 6. A penalty moved them back to the 3. They moved all the way to about the 30-yard line of Millikan before giving it up on downs.
And that's psychologically, that's not good for your offense, especially offensive line when they work so hard and they get down in the red zone and they cannot score.
A 9-minute drive with nothing to show for it, although they did score after a turnover moments later. Mercurio again rolling to his right. Looks like he's going to run the football, and they're going to say he did not get in. He did get hit prior to breaking the plane of the goal line, but some of the Bears thought that he might have been able to rumble in. Of course, I mentioned a moment ago that the field's not chalk, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Well, he had men open there, but he decided he was going to run early.
He goes down, and he did bounce in. In fact, he had his back towards the goal line, and that may have crossed prior to him going down, but not the football. And now fourth down and goal from the 1-yard line, and the Bears will go for it.
I like this.
Well, they have to. They're down by a couple touchdowns. A field goal only brings them to within 11. They need a TD here. The give goes to Zamora, and he's in.
Well, the first-year fullback, who's a good athlete, they say, gives them their second touchdown of the night, and it brings them closer now. Now, question whether they will go for 2 points.
There's a little bit of a meeting that takes place, and there's a penalty, unsportsmanlike conduct against Millikan. Apparently, after the play, as it's a dead ball foul, the touchdown counts. It will probably be marked on the kickoff. Or will they mark it here? Because that would move the football from the 2 to the 1 and mean that a 2-point conversion could be scored from a very short distance. I don't think it will be marked on the point after. I think it would be on the kickoff. So point after attempt will be attempted. The Bears were able to kick their first point after. The spot was a little sketchy, but the kick is good as Anthony Bozek, the only kicker listed, gets it through, although that is not the same number as the
Well, if it
kicker.
is Anthony Bozak, this is his first varsity game. And last year, he was on the Frost team, and he was a kicker. And he's a soccer player also. Of course, that's no secret to everybody. Most people are soccer players or are kickers now and punters and all kind of other things. But this is his first varsity game.
Indeed, the penalty will be marked off on the kickoff. And we'll get a report from Eddie Van Geis.
Well, there's life again for Warren. Things were looking pretty dismal. Coaching staff was down after they had a good first quarter. You can hear them here. The Warren cheerleaders, they remember they won this game 1 year ago, and they think they can do it again. The Baby Bears against the veteran Millikan squad. Let's go back upstairs.
Thank you very much for that report, Eddie. In fact, that drive consumed 7 minutes and more for the Warren Bears. And so that was a very, very big drive for the Bears to reestablish their offensive dominance over this defense. And now we look on the field. Apparently this penalty will not be marked off on this kickoff. It was marked off on the point after. Not that it mattered much when you consider the fact that they were kicking an extra point. What's the difference between a 1 yard difference in a 9 or 10 yard extra point?
Well, they're going to squib it this time, and hopefully they can get good coverage. Nice kick.
Jordan fields it at the 10. Jordan looking for some room with a couple of moves, but finally gets stuck. And that is the first successful defense of a kickoff by the special teams. In fact, that first half for Warren their special teams were brutal. They gave up touchdowns on both kickoffs, and their only punt was blocked by their up back.
Well, there was a nice squib kick, and he danced a lot. He fumbled the ball. Should have just ran up the field, and he might have come out better. And he got really hit, leveled by number 3, Anthony Zamora,
who just scored the touchdown. 21-14 in favor of the Rams. They begin this drive at the 20. A return of 10 for Josh Jordan. Clock ticking, 4:15 left in the third quarter. Pass completed, then dropped, and then a late hit, no flag thrown. The pass was in the hands of number 85, Jackie Lee. He caught that touchdown earlier. This time he was trying to run before he had it.
Now that's a long way to throw the football on a little hitch, because they're on the right hash.
Now this should have been a flag, because
yes,
the player for the Bears, number 52, Jonathan Rivera, did not even make a move towards Lee until after the ball had been dropped. The pass had already been dropped before he even started to make a move towards the receiver.
But then maybe he thought there was a fumble and he wanted him to get out of the way. So
go after the football, not the player. Good point. Second down and 10. I have no problem with hitting, just do it fairly. Beaudry running out of time, eludes 2 of the defensive linemen for the Bears. Now has a man open downfield.
Great
complete,
pass.
Caught it midfield.
Oh,
making the grab was Eric Slater. Wow.
What a nice athletic play. He was in deep trouble in the coffin corner, and he reversed his field and threw that ball up for grabs, and number 45, Slater, caught that football. Very nice highlight play. I think you're going to put that on your highlight tape.
Oh, no doubt about it. Watch Beaudry here. He rolls to his right. He's in trouble as he's cornered by the Warren defense. But then he gets a block there, a slip lineman there. Now he's got time, and actually he could have run this football for quite a few yards. But after one pump fake, he lets it fly on the run, and it is caught by Slater. And this was a nice grab by Slater as he catches it with some interference by Ricardo Vargas, and he catches it at midfield. But after that catch, the first down play works for naught, as it's a loss of a yard. Second down and 11 coming up for Millikan.
The Rams are a very athletic team. I think you could agree, Willie. These guys are explosive at the skill positions. Their quarterback, Beaudry, can get away from trouble. He's exhibited that. They're going to be a team to be reckoned with.
That last catch was Eric Slater. Now it's second down and 12. Man in motion. Pass complete in that direction. First down for the Rams as Gabe Anderson, who was the man in motion, receives the pass and then is able to rumble for about 4 or 5 yards and get the first down for Millikan. Now you notice Peralta's team is starting to work the playbook a little bit. They seem to be playing it close to the vest in the first half, but now they're starting to vary their offense a bit. A timeout on the field by Warren. 2:50 left in the third quarter, and it's a 7-point lead for Millikan. We'll take a break. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week. Pass complete on the left flat. Nice move made as the Rams get very close to another first down after the catch and carry by Mark Wells. Now Beaudry's starting to rack up some passing stats.
He's looking good out here. He's running and he's passing. He's getting good protection from his offensive line, particularly Dan Bernatke, who was a sophomore starter last year, Willie. 6'1", 300 pounds, one of those strong men up on the offensive line for Millikan.
Well, thanks to Peramaki and company, the Rams moving down the field. They do get the first down as it is marked down inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line. First down for Millikan. Good series, their first drive of the second half. The give goes up the middle, and after bouncing off one of his tacklers, Gabe Anderson gets wrapped up at about the original line of scrimmage. Anderson took a good hit from one of his own teammates. Watch this.
A little trap play, actually. Number 53 for the Rams.
Ran right into Grant, his own man.
Jason Murphy made a nice block.
They'll mark it a loss of a yard, 2nd down and 11. There's Coach Jeff Welch, who did not want to speak to Eddie Van Geis at halftime, probably because he wouldn't have had anything we could air at halftime to say.
Yes, he was pretty excited before the game and pretty upset at halftime.
Screen pass thrown behind Jordan, and fortunate for the Rams to fall incomplete. For Josh Jordan, he got his hands on the football, but then he kind of kept it up in the air by trying to grab onto it, and very nearly intercepted by Warren. 3rd down and 11 now with 1:38 left in the 3rd.
Josh Jordan credits, or at least the coaching staff credits Jason Bell, the outstanding cornerback from last year, who's now at UCLA, for being a positive influence on Josh Jordan.
Clock shows 1:38 in the 3rd quarter. This is only the 2nd series of the entire 2nd half. Remember, the Bears took the football and had about 7.5 minutes before scoring on a 1-yard touchdown run by Zamora. And since then, this is the Rams drive. Beaudry trying to buy some time. Oh, is he in trouble? Gets one block, but then he gets drilled at the 30. He got one block, but paid the price.
That block was administered by Josh Weller, past quarterback of last year. They had 3 or 4 receivers out in the pattern, but he couldn't find anyone open, so he decides he's going to run the football. Now watch this block by Weller. This crackback. Boom. Hey, which was the license plate of that truck?
So the football is at the 30, and it is 4th down and about 14. It's not a punting situation. Once again, if you're at about the 30-yard line and you kick it out of the end zone, it's only a 10-yard kick because that's where your opposition will take over with the football after the touchback. So Beaudry needs to get his team downfield, and he's intercepted. The pass intercepted. Tackle finally made. The INT by Danny Harlan of the Bears, 2nd INT for Beaudry. And a flag is down. I've got a feeling it's a block in the back by the Bears. That'll be a clip. We'll check it out.
The secondary for the Bears is providing really good coverage, but we have to look at this this clip here right there. Probably I didn't get the number, but that's what probably the referee is saying.
Indeed, the flag was thrown inside the 20, so they will mark it back from there, moving the Bears inside their own 10. In a way, this works out almost as good as a coffin corner kick.
But the secondary of the Bears are doing a fine job because there's not much pressure on the quarterback. So it's got to be a coverage interception, and he threw right in coverage.
Well, apparently the ball moved back from further downfield. It's marked at the 13. That is where the Bears take over. 1st down and 10 with 1:18 left in the 3rd quarter. 2nd turnover by the Rams, as the misdirection works for the Bears for about 4.
Tough break for the Rams. They had a lot of things going for them on that particular drive. This inexperienced Bear team bent but did not break, and they came up with a big interception on the 4th down situation.
2nd down and 6. As the Bears being quarterbacked by their backup quarterback, Adrian Mercurio, replacing James Steele, the sophomore who started things out, but after his punt was blocked, as Zamora gets tackled, after the block punt, Steele kicked it out of bounds, which of course was a penalty, and on top of that was tackled about the ankles, and that was the injury that forced him to the sideline and sent to the hospital for precautionary x-rays. Clock is ticking. A pickup of another couple yards, so it'll set up 3rd down and a long 4. I don't think the Bears will get this play off before the end of the 3rd quarter. Indeed, they will not. Only 5 seconds left. They're not even intending to get this play off as we've reached the end of the 3rd quarter. Only the 3rd drive of this 2nd half by either team. As the Bears get their hands on it for the 2nd time. They scored the 1st time. They'll need to score again to tie things up. They trail it by 7, 21-14, and we'll take a break. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week. That 3rd down and 4 play, needless to say, works for a first down and then some, as Anthony Zamora takes the handoff, breaks a tackle behind the line of scrimmage, and then gets some good yardage.
And it wasn't for Alfred Durr on a shoestring tackle.
More like a kneecap tackle.
That would have probably gained about 15 or 20 more yards.
Indeed, a nice pickup by Zamora, and first down and 10 for the Bears. Here in the second half, they have controlled the clock. Short pickup for Warren. This is Tamian Hong's first carry since the first half. He did not get the football in the 3rd quarter, as Aaron Hernandez picked up, or Aaron Herrera, excuse me, picked up his time.
The offensive line for the Bears have really handled the defensive line and linebackers for the Rams. They have really controlled the football, which is what they wanted to do from the beginning, and they have done exactly that.
Well, they got the football at 1:18 left of the 3rd quarter. They had it for the first 7:35 of the second half. As the give goes to Hong, he gets another first down. And if sometimes time of possession is an overrated statistic, but in this case, you can see how the Warren offense is wearing down the Millikan defense, and it just seems that there are now gaping holes.
There is, and they're running some really good inside trap plays, and they're getting to the outside with some really nice, nifty blocking. But they're still behind in the 4th quarter by 7 points, due in part to those 2 special team touchdowns.
And one thing has got to be on their minds. If they do score that game-tying score, they'll have to kick off. And we've seen what the Millikan Rams have done 2 out of the 3 times they've received kickoffs from Warren. That's return them for touchdowns. As the give goes to Hong, and he gets dropped from behind after a pickup of 4. Tackle made by Matt Williams, but big inroads being made by that Warren offensive line. Before Hong was even breathed on by a Millikan defender, he was already, picking up 4 or 5 yards.
Well, when you see athletes put their hands on their hips, they're a little bit tired. The defensive line and linebackers for the Rams probably a little bit tired, and also being a little bit out-quicked out there.
2nd down and 5. Also shortening these 2nd and 3rd down plays is a benefit for the Bears because they have not thrown the football much. The give goes to Hong, who has gotten the football 3 plays in a row. This time it just doesn't work. A loss of a yard on a play, maybe more. That'll mark it a loss of 2. Let's get a report down on the field from Eddie Van Geis. First, we'll take a look at this play.
Then we'll get a report from Eddie Van Geis. But that play was smelled out by the Rams defense, and they went right to their strength. And they got nothing on that play. This has been an interesting football game.
So we got the play, and we'll get Eddie later as the Bears come to the line. 9:05 left in the ball game. 7-point lead for the Rams. The Bears facing a 3rd and long for the first time in a while. 3rd and 7. Mercurio rolls and throws it behind the intended receiver, Hong. Except for the fact that that was a bad pass, that play might have worked. But the pass behind Hong, and that'll bring up 4th down. And now, not only did the Bears lose their starting quarterback, sophomore James Steele, the last time they had to punt the football, they lost their punter.
Well, this is a little play-action pass, and he just threw a really floppy pass over there that should have led him more.
And not to mention the fact that Sean Smith was well behind the play, which is why I say that play might have worked. Mercurio is going to fake as he's going to throw on the run, but it's intercepted by Shawver. Mercurio intercepted for the 2nd time in the game. Once as a quarterback, once as a punter.
Let's go, come on.
Shawver with the INT.
And if the Rams should win this football game, Shawver should get the game ball. He's done virtually everything out there from a defensive standpoint. Now he intercepts a pass, a nice athletic move there before he's tackled.
In hindsight, you could say that Shawver should have blocked the pass and the Rams would have gotten the football further downfield, but Shawver did not know he would get tackled immediately. He could have returned it for a touchdown.
Yeah, when a lineman intercepts a pass, you can't tell them to knock it down because those guys don't get a chance to put their hands on the football very often.
and it's generally not thrown right at him like that one was. A flag down on the field. I believe it's against the Rams, but flags are down all over the entire field, it looks like. So this one could go against either squad or even both squads. We'll check it out with Jack Hunsinger, our referee, his umpire Mark Ashley, headlinesman Darrell Klein, the field judge Lance Davies, and the back judge Jim Williams. The flag against the Bears. I think this is an illegal participation against the Bears. Either a player came out the field at the last moment or they had too many men. In either case, it's a 5-yard penalty and they'll replay first down. So a break for Millikan. They'll get a chance to start this one all over again. Beaudry gives it to Hernandez. He goes around the left side, down the sideline, finally wrapped up after the first down. Excuse me, that's Gabe Anderson. And Anderson, a first down and a nice run.
We have an injured Bear on the field on the sideline. Looks like he's getting up a little bit slow, but he's all right.
Watch Gabe Anderson here cut to his left when he sees nothing right side.
And he gets a good block in there by his offensive lineman and slips a tackle by number 87 of the Bears and gets to the outside. And he gets about another 10 yards, more blocking up front before he's tackled.
First down and 10 for the Rams. Beaudry throws, has a man, and it's dropped. Right in the hands, or actually in the shoulder pad maybe, of Tony Garcia. Got his hands up, but that bounced right off his shoulder pad. You got to get your hands out a little bit more and make the play with your hands.
Absolutely right, Willie. You're taught to catch the ball with your hands, not with your shoulder pads, and he let that through his hands and dropped a very important pass. Now, you know, Beaudry is looking really good on play action and rolling out, giving himself more time, and he found a receiver there who was wide open.
In the pocket, Beaudry's has problems. In fact, his 2 interceptions came on pocket passes, but as you mentioned, when he rolls, it seems to be that he gets a better vision downfield. That pass complete to Shaver. That was that same pass that the Rams scored the touchdown on to Jackie Lee in the first half. That was that crossing pattern that, in fact, Los Alamitos runs that play to perfection very well. And that pass to Shaver complete and picks up about 5 or 6.
I had a chance to talk to the defensive coordinator for the Bears, Kevin Swift, the other day. A really funny guy. You know, he comes in, he really likes the defense that the University of Washington employs, and we had a real good talk about what he tries to do with this inexperienced defensive alignment for the Rams, or not the Rams, excuse me, the Bears.
3rd down and 5. The give goes to Anderson. He gets bottled up after a pickup of a couple, and he stopped just shy of the 20. It'll bring up 4th down and 3. A field goal attempt, well, that's about a 35-yarder if you go for it. So you've got to figure on 4th down, the Rams are going to try and get the first down.
Power zoom on this thing, dude.
That would be, let's see, from the 20th, 37, 36-yarder. And they're going to bring on their kicking unit. The football will be marked down at the 29. I would make it a 39-yard kick from Ken Caceres. Big field goal. It'll make it a 10-point difference. Placement's down. The kick by Caceres is up. It's long enough. It's good. Ken Caceres connects from 39. And that gives the Rams a 10-point lead with 6:49 left.
Now that spells trouble for the Bears, who are a ball-controlled team. They don't like to pass the football. They want to eat up big chunks of yardage and time. So this is going to have to change the strategy a little bit for the Bears with only 6:49 to play. They've been keeping the ball primarily on the ground. If they can come up with a big play and score early, they'll get a chance to get the ball back. But they've used the clock 6 or 7 or 8 minutes each time they've had the ball, and that's not going to do them too much good here at this juncture in the football game.
Indeed, we were talking about time of possession possibly being an overrated stat. In this ball game, or in this second half rather, there's a little more than half a quarter left. Warren has had the football for, let's see, 12 minutes of the 18 minutes and have only outscored Millikan 7-3 in the second half. So not a whole lot to show for their domination of the time of possession. And I would bet dollars to donuts that They controlled the clock in the first half as well. After that 9-minute drive, scored 0.
And see, they have their backup quarterback in, and he's a drop-back passer, but they don't have the versatility of Steele.
The ball off the fingertips of the kick returner, and since it went into the end zone from the force of the kick, it is a touchback, and the Rams, leading it by 10, send their defense back out, trying to hold this Warren offense that has really controlled the ball, but getting it into pay dirt has been a different story. And Adrian Mercurio, their quarterback, hustling out of the field. First down and 10 from the 20-yard line. Let's see if this Millikan defense, who, despite all the time of possession for Warren, has really been up to the challenge. They forced a punt twice, stopped the Bears on downs on another occasion, and at halftime stopped the Bears on one other time, and there were the 2 touchdowns. So the Ram defense has really done its job.
Yeah, as far as point production is concerned, they have done its job, but they've been moved. They've been run on in this football game quite a bit, but they have not broken.
I'm sure Coach Peralta, the first thing he'll tell you, the only stat that counts are the ones on the scoreboard.
Absolutely.
They can have all the numbers between the goal lines, but getting them in is what counts. The give goes to Hong. Hong on 2nd down and 9, cuts back, gets near the 30, but he'll be shy on the first down. It'll be 3rd down and short.
Hong is a good little runner and some really nice blocking. You have to wonder whether the offensive line, though, is kind of fatigued for the Bears. They've been on the field a lot, but they've been opening big holes. But that was a nice, nifty run there by Hong.
I've often heard that your offensive line only gets tired if they're going backwards.
Yes.
When they're going forward, they seem to reserve their strength a little bit.
And plus, they have motivation to score, too. So, you know, the fatigue is probably not the factor for the offensive line.
3rd down and a couple. Make it a long 2. The fake to Zamora. The roll, the pass is complete as they get it to John Park, their big tight end who rumbles into Millikan territory. John Park, 6'2", 210 pounds, and looks every bit of that. He gets into Millikan territory with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left.
And see, they kind of lulled them to sleep with the run, and it was a little play action right there, and that tight end was all in the open. And he just, like Chris Berman said, he's rumbling and dumbled all the way down to about the 35 or 45-yard line. About the 48, it looks like.
Not a Ram within tackling distance of Park, and he had room to rumble. He gets into Millikan territory. 1st down and 10 for the Bears, and the whistle blown prior to the snap. Maybe against the Bears. We'll have to wait and see the call. It is, and even Jack Hunsinger is going to check it again. It is encroachment, as apparently one of the Bears was lined up offside. Indeed, you can see the tight end is lined up offside. And so that's your penalty right there. Your offensive line, or one of your offensive guys is lined up offside. It's like, hello, you've got to be able to look down at the football and see that you're in the neutral zone and get out of it.
Mental error, and that'll kill a coach, make him retire earlier.
Makes it 1st down and 15, although the real important yardage situation is towards that goal line as Hong gets the football and meets a couple Rams immediately as Sean Smith and number 95, Chris Alfer, are right in on the play immediately.
And this is where they missed the experience of James Steele and also the athleticism of James Steele. They need a quarterback now that can make some things happen, maybe roll out and run with the football or throw and get the linebackers to come up at him. And this obviously is not what Mercurio does well.
Clock ticking. 4 minutes and change left in this ball game. 2nd down and a bundle. Pass is complete just beyond the original line of scrimmage for the Bears. Catch made, I believe, with Dontel Jenkins. And that pass in traffic.
Yeah, and he came back and got this football because that was going to be intercepted if we watch closely by a defensive back. So he came back and it was almost tipped. He came back and stole that football, and it was a nice catch
That's some serious traffic to be throwing a football, and Mercurio has not had good luck thus far throwing downfield, as he's been intercepted twice in very limited numbers of passes. Well, the Bear girls seem to be excited despite being down by 10. Mercurio rolling, 3rd down and long. The pass is intercepted by Shaver. His second INT of the game. A flag is down, and Shaver goes down, but let's check the flag. It looks like it'll be after the interception, unless it's a hold against the defense or pass interference.
Well, the linebackers just drop back in their zone, Willie, knowing that he has to throw the football.
It was ineligible receiver downfield was the call against the Bears. One of their linemen had snuck downfield.
See, when you know you have to pass, you're down by 10 points late in the 4th quarter, the linebackers just kind of drop. They don't go for that play action fake because you know you got to throw the football. So Shaver just dropped back in his zone and made that interception, his second of the game. He's made outstanding tackles. He's going to be a guy that you're going to hear about a lot this season.
The Rams get the football back. They've got a 10-point lead and the football, and time is on their side. Yes, it is. Football loose. Here's the Rams got it back. That would be a quote.
What's that?
Time being on their side. That was, I believe, Mick Jagger.
Oh, okay. Time. Oh, don't get me started now. But this may snap a 3-game losing streak by the Rams against the Bears. You know, it dates back 3 seasons where they've opened up with the Bears and they have lost to the Bears, and now it looks like with 3:05 to go that they have a good chance of winning.
We'll say hello from our perch here on top of the home side stands at Warren High School. I'm Willie Padilla, along with me, Errol Parker down on the field, Eddie Van Geis. And thank you very much to the people here at Warren High School for accepting us graciously. 3:05 left on the clock. There was a procedure call against Millikan, so the ball moved back 5 yards, made it 1st down and 15. That run works for not much. 2nd down and 15 coming up for Millikan, but more importantly for their ends, the clock is ticking.
Well, they would like to get a 1st down here, and it's 2nd down and 14. If they can get a 1st down, they'll be in real good shape, but they don't want to do anything ill-advised, like throwing the ball in traffic for an interception and a quick score.
Once again, that time of possession stat doesn't mean squat. The Warren Bears, up until giving up the football on that interception, had the football for 15 minutes and 47 seconds of 21 minutes of the 2nd half. And you can see what good it's done them. Let's get a report from Eddie Van Geis.
The Warren Bears felt they had the momentum. There was a lot of excitement on the sidelines. It was the players, the coaches, the cheerleaders, a lot of electricity here. And then that final interception, you can sort of feel now on the sidelines, it's quiet here, and the bubble has sort of burst for the young Bears. About 1:56 to go. It looks good for Millikan. Back to you guys.
Indeed, it looks quite good for the Millikan Rams. And they seem to be snapping that bit of bad luck I spoke about at the outset on, of all days, Friday the 13th. They'll start marking that as a lucky day after this particular game because the Rams have played so well.
And they started off playing well, Willie. They started off with a kickoff return for a touchdown. And then they scored again on special teams, showing their versatility. Then they got it together offensively from the line of scrimmage and scored again. And they've scored 24 points in their opener here with 131. Looks really good for them, but they're going to have to probably give up the football, which means it's not going to mean too much with only 131 to play.
Well, there's a penalty against Warren, a personal foul or unsportsmanlike conduct, and it is a 15-yarder against the Bears. That's a 1st down for Millikan. And this one is history if they can hold on to the football, because they'll be able to run out the clock now.
And it is just nail on the coffin right now for the Bears with that penalty. Millikan will not have to give up this football. And you talked to Coach Peralta, and he was really focusing on this game, and it looks like they're going to win it.
Gabe Anderson with the football, picks up about 5, unless the Bears call timeout. And I don't see that anyone is. The Rams will be able to run out the clock. 1:07 showing on the clock.
And you know what the Rams did this summer, Willie? They stayed their Hell Week at Millikan. And you know, it made a big difference. All the guys had a chance to bond. That's something that you don't often see. Gar High School did that the year before, and they have a new philosophy and a new attitude of this Millikan Ram team, and it probably is going to carry over during the season.
2nd down and 5. The give goes to Grant. Grant, like a bulldozer, runs right through a couple of Bears and is finally brought down after the 1st down carry at the 25. 32 seconds left on the clock. Once it starts ticking, this one will be over.
Trevon Grant running like a true fullback. He's getting racked, but he gladly takes that to run out this clock.
And a show of class right here by the Rams as they have it in the red zone, but instead take a knee and will run out the clock. That's the way you do it with class. And Coach Tony Peralta, who has been on the wrong side of too many lopsided scores, knows how that feels. And this shows a touch of class. And this really is a big victory, and quite possibly the Rams have turned the corner.
Oh, I really think the Rams have really turned the corner. We'll see in the coming weeks, but they have an experienced football team. They have a philosophy that's coming into fruition right now. They've done some special things with their young men. I think we're going to be reading about a lot of the Rams' victories coming up this season.
Chalk up a W for Millikan and to open the 1996 season. Bad luck takes a holiday on Friday the 13th for the Rams as they are 1-0 with this 24-14 win over the Warren Bears, and they do it rather convincingly. A big victory for Tony Peralta and company.
Well, the special teams play early helped out for the Rams.
We're going to take a break, and then we'll come back with Coach Tony Peralta and Eddie Van Geis. As I look down on the field, Eddie Van Geis seems to have already wrapped up Coach Peralta, and we'll go ahead and take a break right now. I'll be back with him in just a moment. Welcome back to our Long Beach High School football game of the week. 24-14, the Rams win it. A happy guy has to be head coach Tony Peralta. He's standing by with Eddie Van Geis.
Coach Tony Peralta, the Millikan Rams, you look good tonight. What a difference a year makes. Big victory tonight to open up the season.
Right. We haven't won an opener since 1990. And we've built for this game all through the summer. We had a unity camp, and it was just a stepping stone to get to this point. It wasn't pretty. It was ugly. But at this point, a win's a win.
Coach, I've got to ask you, in the first quarter, a lot of people were surprised because they ate up about 9 minutes of the clock in the first quarter. What were you thinking at that time?
I got to tell you, that was a heck of a 95 yards they went, and it was a heck of a drive, and they really played well tonight. I think they played better than us. We got some big plays. We have a lot of improvement to do, and they were a heck of a team. I got to give a lot of credit to Warren, but our kids hung in there. They believed, and they made the big play when we had to, and I was very pleased with that.
Tony, next week you play Westminster. What is the number one thing you want to work on right now?
Well, right now it's in the trenches, offensively and defensively. We thought that was our strength going in. We had some problems. They were very physical up there. Westminster's a good football team. They got a lot of guys, and we're going to have to go toe-to-toe with somebody and prove to ourselves that we can do it.
Good luck next week. I know you and Coach Welch have a great rapport and mutual respect for one another. Great game tonight. Good win.
Thank you very much.
There you have it. So Millikan victorious right here at the Warren Bears. Guys, an exciting game, a good one to open up the season. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, thank you very much, Eddie. We'll be back to wrap this one up in just a few moments. Once again, the final, the Rams over the Bears, 24-14. I'm Willie Padilla, along with me, Errol Parker and Eddie Van Geis. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Wrap this one up.